Show no mercy.
You don't know the power of the dark side. We would be honored if you would join us. You don't know the power of the dark side. It is pointless to resist, my son.
Stretch out with your feelings. Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
All right, everyone. It is the Bronx Bombers Strike Back podcast, the winter meetings. I am BX Sport Jedi Kev, the Donna Watch Along. Making a video. I have not made a video or reaction on this hot stove Yankee talk. A lot to talk about, not just in the New York Yankee land, around the Major League Baseball. My first topic I want to talk about is the Veterans Committee. I know there's a lot. Everybody wants to know about Judge. Everybody wants to know about all the other signings. I'm doing well. Mikey Mazda for the Ford Train Express. Thank you for joining me in this hot stove talk. But my first one is the Hall of Fame. Don Arthur Mattingly did not make the Hall of Fame through the Veterans Committee. A former New York Yankee prospect by the name of Fred McGriff gets in through the Veterans. Good job, Fred McGriff. Congratulations to get in the Hall of Fame, getting the votes needed by the Veterans Committee. To me, Fred McGriff was a solid, good major leaguer, a compiler in my case, but he was a good player. Through the Veterans Committee, I have no problem with that. He was good. He was a good player off the field. Never got into trouble, but I do have a little bit of gripe. How do you leave Albert Bell off? How do you leave Albert Bell, in my opinion, off the Hall of Fame ballot? I mean, he has a 9 years of over 100 plus RBIs, of 40 home runs, averaging one of the most fierce right-handed hitter in Major League Baseball in that 90s, not just for the Cleveland Indians at those times, the Baltimore Orioles. Albert Bell, I'm surprised he did not make the Hall of Fame. I understand why. We know why, the politics and all the shenanigans, but I personally think Albert Bell should be a Hall of Famer. If you're asking me, who would you want to take productive-wise, Albert Bell or Fred McGriff? I'm taking, if you've seen the game, I'm taking Albert Bell. That's just my thoughts there. So we have a lot to unpack here on this, the 6th day of December. My God, Christmas is around the corner. For holidays, everyone, Yankee fans, we all know what's on our Christmas list here. But for foremost, let's go on with let's talk about the New York Yankees right now. Of course, why are we here for? The Bronx Bombers Strike Back. The Yankees, first and foremost, have made a major move, one of the big moves here of the offseason, and they signed Brian Cashman to a 4-year deal, contract to 2026. A lot of Yankee fans are like, what in the world is going on? I guess the Steinbrenner family entrusted Brian Cashman to continue steering the New York Yankees into the future for the next 4 more years until 2026. They trust him. The proof is in his pudding. The Yankees have not had a under 500 season, for always, and they'll miss the playoffs maybe 3 times and they're always there. They're always above 500 since 1992. They trust the process. They trust him. They trust him with getting the trades, getting the blue chippers, the blue gems. They trust Brian Cashman. A lot of us would have liked to see a different direction or another general manager. But right now, let's face it, other than Theo Epstein, there wasn't that sexy general manager that we would have want to bring up for the New York Yankees. So I guess, the devil you know for the devil you don't know. That's just my opinion. Maybe that's what the Heinz Steinbrenner's family seen. So we have Cashman as a signing, and that's one of the first one. But earlier today, the New York Yankees bring back a familiar foe, back to the foe here, back to the Bronx. Personally, this is for his third time as a New York Yankee. Reliever Tommy Kahnle agrees to a 2-year deal, $11.5 million, rough over, close to around $6 million mark. A lot of people say a little high for a reliever, but Tommy Kahnle, be honest with you, when he's on, he is a really good pitcher. I understand he had that Tommy John issue back then, but he played well for the Dodgers. Former Yankee, third. This is his third stint with the New York Yankees. Hopefully, this is the final stint here where he could just become an anchor there. Yankees, bullpen-wise, pretty stacked, in my opinion. They're pretty stacked. The Yankees, bullpen-wise, but they don't have a bona fide closer. Could Kahnle be that? It'd be Johnny Loizaga. Could he be the bona fide closer? Although Holmes, they say Clay Holmes is going to be their closer. They love what Holmes brings. He just had a little bit of an off-time dead arm period and so forth. Also, they had Leon Hendricks for the White Sox, name it, possible trade for the Yankees. But they have I don't think the Yankees main concern is bullpen. Everyone wants to talk about the elephant in the room is Aaron Judge. The Yankees upped their offer. Really, the current offer the New York Yankees have given him, 8 years, $200 million per Jeff Passan. But now Joe Sherman is reporting they upped the offer here. They're looking at 10-year deal. Personally, I think the Yankees should go 10 years, $375 if they want to keep Aaron Judge. I know a lot of people say what, but you could make it top heavy, inflated, and the escalating clause in those later 8-9 years, or to the 10th year. If you're the Yankees, you could make that where the wordage where it makes less and becomes you still be the highest annual value player, or if you want to play him as Mike Trout. But all laws, Aaron Judge, where is he going to sign? A lot of reports saying that he was supposed to be. That's why you can't jump. You don't see me come on a lot on the here on talk about the Yankees. I want to wait to get concrete evidence. A lot of people were jumping. Oh, he's going to sign Wednesday. He's going to be in San Diego tomorrow. And Cashman himself, if you saw the Yankees hot stove last night, there was no such thing. No, Yankees had no meeting with Judge. Judge is not coming to San Diego. So you got to be careful. You got to hold your horses. I understand we're all anxious and want to be the first ones to go out there and say our piece, but we have to hold our horses, wait till the smoke clears before you jump the gun. That's why I try to hold off and not get immediately a quick super reaction, because things change from night to day, and I just don't want it to get, it's bad enough for amateurs. I don't want to get any egg on my face. So I want to hold off. That's why you don't see me come on too greatly on, but I want to make sure that I get some concrete evidence here. Another signing around for the New York Yankees. They're talking about Sean Murphy, the catcher for the Athletics. I don't know why I want to get another catcher, but I think everything hampers around Aaron Judge, which way they go. If he goes, then all the dominoes fall. They're talking about Carlos Rendon. Yankees are high and heavy on Carlos Rendon, although I personally think both things have nothing to do with one another. You need yourself your Judge. You need your right fielder. Regardless if he's going to sign or not, you still need a right fielder and Aaron Judge. That's priority number one. Priority number two is starting pitching. They should not hamper one or the other. You got to go get a starter pitcher. You're losing Jameson Taillon. You need to bring someone back in. I understand we're going to get a full year of Frankie Montas. But what we saw Frankie Montas didn't give us anything to write home about or to get excited for coming into the new season, in my opinion. So I want to give me a minute, because I've not done a video. I'll get you in a minute. I definitely did not expect the Yankees to not get starting pitching. They need pitching. They need as badly as possible starting pitching, especially losing Jameson Taillon. Going forward. Personally, I want to see the Yankees get their starting pitch. I want them to get actually 2 starting pitching. I would like them to trade for a controllable arm, and I would like to get in the free agent market Carlos Rendon. If they don't get Carlos Rendon, I would like Noah Syndergaard. I wouldn't mind Noah Syndergaard on a cheap deal. Trying to bring him in there. So we're speaking about pitching. Who in the world, and I hate to be a little bit all over the place, I want to bring in Mikey Mazda in a moment. Who in the world thought that Jacob deGrom didn't want to be a New York Met? He just bolted out of New York. A lot of reports with deGrom caught me by surprise. He left New York to good job on the Mets, by the way, getting Justin Verlander back into the fold, signing with them. As much as we ridicule Steve Cohen, he not for nothing, he did a phenomenal job getting and Epler getting Verlander. Verlander, I know everyone says he's the older pitcher. I think that was the right move for the New York Mets. For if it was the Yankees, I would have had a little bit of a hesitant pushback because you want to get younger, you want to produce. The Mets are a win now team. They're 2 years. They're at least 2 to 3 years away with a team that needs to win now. And for the Yankees, they're still young, but we all want to win a World Series. Definitely, everybody wants to win a World Series. No sugarcoat, no BS. You want to win it, but I think the Mets is a win now team. You got Canna, you have Marte, so forth. They gotta pull the trigger. Good job on them and getting Justin Verlander, in my opinion. I think that was a great job. As we'll probably bring in Mikey Mazda in a second here. And I know that personally, the Yankees got to continue going forward with finding those rough gems in the rough. I got Chris the Flash as well in the back green room. Chris, what's going on?
What's up, Kev?
I'm doing well. How you been, brother?
I'm good. Just waking up, chat.
All right. I'm on here with the Mets rebounding and getting in Justin Verlander as the Jacob deGrom leaves and he left on a Friday night. Didn't want to hear the Mets counter offer. He just wanted to leave. There's nothing wrong with that. You're a free agent. If New York wasn't for you or didn't like the direction the Mets were going, that's fine and dandy, understandable there. But I like what the Mets did, get Verlander immediately.
Yeah, I don't blame them from not making that big deal with Jacob. I mean, that's too many years. So they went the shorter route with Verlander. So I mean, and Verlander's more durable at his age, which that's crazy to say, but I mean, he just came back and won the Cy Young. So I mean, they had to pivot to Verlander. So that was a good move by them.
Absolutely. And now the Mets, they're going to be a retooling team. I think they're going to get another pitcher. We'll see. They're in the market for maybe a lower end starter like a Jameson Taillon. The Cookie Carrasco will resign with them and so forth there for the Mets. Now, before I was talking before about the Yankees, I didn't make too much about anything yet. I just talked about the Tommy Kahnle signing. He is back again with the New York Yankees. Let's say hello to Mikey Mazda. Let me get this out there with Kahnle. Third time around for Kahnle. I like it because you're bringing back a strength that the Yankees had a couple years ago was the bullpen. So I kind of like that move. What were your thoughts, seeing Tommy Kahnle sign, Chris, to this afternoon? Mike?
Yeah, I just woke up to that news. So I was like, what the hell? But I think they're still gonna make a trade or something for another bullpen piece because how injured everybody was last year. So, like you said, like that was our strength. So why not make a strength even more stronger? So I don't know. I think Kahnle is just like a insurance type thing. I just think they still need another bullpen piece, like someone a little bit more proven. Because Kahnle, I think Kahnle was hurt a little bit last year too.
All right. Let's say hello first and foremost to Fourth Train Express, Mikey Mazda. Mikey, what's up?
What's
brother?
up, Mike?
Wow.
Hi, boys. What's going on?
I'm doing well, man. I hope you're doing well. I know the news broke out here with Tommy Kahnle signing with the New York Yankees here for $11.5 million for 2 years. His third time around with the New York Yankees. I'm going to make the bullpen even stronger. I know Chris was just intimating that they might make a trade, might need another bullpen arm because the Yankees, was mentioning a little bit earlier, despite having all these bullpen arms, good quality arms, we still haven't had a bona fide closer
Right.
there. I want to hear your thoughts on Tommy Kahnle, and also I'm going to throw this out there: White Sox have been in shopping Liam Hendricks as the closer, and Yankees are interested. I know there's a lot to unpack there, but let's go with Kane. Let me give your thoughts first on Kahnle.
So I like the Kahnle deal. I think it's a great deal. They're getting him for $5 and I think it's $5.25 million per year, something like that. It's something around that ballpark, or $6.25. I like that move. First and foremost, I think it's going to be great. I think it'll give Clay Holmes that safety net, because once Michael King went down, that was it. So that's the first thing. Second thing, I'm not a fan of Liam Hendricks. I'm really not.
Okay.
So there's three things the Yankees can do. And bear with me. Now that the Mariners got, Colton Wong from Milwaukee, that takes them out of the running. And I know you mentioned something about starting pitching. Brian Reynolds has also requested a trade.
I was going to get to that, but I don't want to go. I want to get in a sequence in the stairs.
Okay.
I wanted to stay with the open arm with Kahnle, but we'll get to Brian Reynolds.
But there's a reason why I'm bringing that up.
Okay.
Because if you could swing a trade for Reynolds and David Bednar, now you've got your closer. Because remember, David Bednar has closing experience from being out in Pittsburgh. So that's where I was getting with that, is that you could try.
We're talking about a blockbuster. That's a block in Mikey.
Yes.
That's a blockbuster trade with the Pirates and the Yankees. Do you think with that? Let me throw this to you, and we'll ask for Cliff to that blockbuster trade. Do you think a third team will be involved here?
I think a third team could be involved, but I also think the Yankees have the pieces to do it on the.
Okay, but I know this is not like the NBA and the NFL or all the other sports where you need a third team to match salaries. We just wanted to throw that out there. That's you're the reason why I say a third team. You have the chip of Gleyber Torres out there. You could ship Torres to another team, and you could, and along with some prospects, so maybe and Pittsburgh might like a prospects from another team. Mm-hmm. They will receive, where New York will get like the two Bernard and Reynolds, or vice versa, something like that, sexy wise, where prospects and remember also they got to fit it under the 40-man roster, and they got to make all that numbers and all that work. That's why I said maybe a third team involved.
It's possible. I mean, anything in baseball is possible. We know this.
Correct.
But I think looking at in that direction now, if you're really looking to amplify your team, that's what I would do. Here's the other thing. I would also not wait on Judge's decision to make moves. That would be the last thing I would do. I would not wait for Judge to say, hey, I'm going to San Francisco, or hey, I'm back to New York. Don't do that.
Okay.
Get the pieces you need now. Because God forbid Judge walks, which I have a feeling is going to happen. Now you've already put the pieces in place. Because if you think about it, a guy like a Reynolds and a Bednar are going to come cheaper than what Judge alone did on that.
All right. First and foremost, let's say hello to Hector for Yankee Morning Brew. Hector, ¿cómo está, mi hermano? How are you?
I'm good, brother. I hope all is well. Mikey, Mazza, Chris the Flash. Kev, I hope you've been good, brother.
I've been good. First of all, I want to say hello, thank you to my panel here, and I also want to say season greetings. We're in the holiday season, baby.
Yes, we are.
All right, so we were talking about Mikey. We were talking first about Tommy Kahnle. First, let's go with your thoughts first on Tommy Kahnle return to the New York Yankees.
Oh, for me, I think it's a low risk, high reward. He had a good bounce back season off of Tommy John. Last season with the Dodgers, he came on later on in the season. So I think 2 years, $12 million. It's not a bad take, and it's one of those moves that Brian Cashman, you we can hate on him as much as we want, but this is another one of those low level Brian Cashman moves that can pay out in the long run.
All right, and then we have another two-parter. First, I'm going to get Chris' thoughts. Chris, your thoughts on the proposal blockbuster that Mikey bought from the 4 Express here with Rent? I know you're a big Brian Reynolds fan. I know you are. What's your thoughts there? Would you want to exploit that, or do you think it'll deplete the farm system?
I think if we do something like that, I feel like a 13 would have to be involved. Because if anything, if you're gonna make a 13, like try to see if you can get somebody can take Hicks. Like even if you pay half a Hicks contract, try to see if somebody can get Hicks off the thing, because then that would help so much with the the David Bednar and Brian Reynolds, and maybe like especially if you're giving up so many prospects, you might as well.
I'm gonna be backstage. Just give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You might as well try to see if somebody would take Hicks, because that's what I would try to do. And trade Gleyber, of course. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I think a 13 would help.
We're making good points here, because the Yankees will be trading in a position of strength. I believe Gleyber Torres is a phenomenal player, Major League Baseball ready second baseman. We've already seen he's been an All-Star before, borderline All-Star. You could say, despite the fact this year, maybe not. But there's potential there where he could be a superstar, or baseball, or maybe a change of scenery might benefit a Gleyber Torres. Now a team might want to take him up there, and also treat him controllable. The Yankees have plenty of infielders. We saw Oswaldo Cabrera emergence this season. We also have Peraza. We have Volpe. We also have DJ LeMahieu, don't forget, available there, where they have a plethora of strength. And in the more sexier, of course, Volpe, but I don't know if they but it's Gleyber, Major League Baseball ready, who you could take a chance for next 2 years. If he doesn't, you let him walk, and he goes. You could sign him for the cheap. You don't have to give him an extraordinary contract if you're another Major League team, or low market team that's looking for a star. Gleyber Torres fits that bill, along with some other prospects. Now, let me ask you this, Hector. I know you've seen him down in the minors. Gleyber Torres, they asked for Torres, maybe, and they asked for Spencer Jones. Are you thinking of holding Spencer Jones? Because I'm hearing a lot of good things on Spencer Jones.
Can you just refresh me on to who could I literally I had to just finish this phone call I just got.
No, we were talking about Gleyber Torres is a sexy name, and Jigga Man, salute Jigga Man. We're doing well. We're even better now that you're with us here, so we appreciate you joining along. Now, I'm talking about Gleyber Torres is a Major League ready player, where the Yankees are trading him from a position of strength, because we have DJ LeMahieu, Volpe, if you want to move him there, Oswaldo Cabrera, Peraza. You can move them to second base, and you have a strong infield. Gleyber is more ready because he was a former All-Star who was you could say borderline All-Star, just to make for S and giggles, and you could dangle him along with a Spencer. If they ask for a Spencer Jones and maybe some minor league prospects that pitching would have called for us, do you think Spencer Jones is one of those untouchable, especially since Rizzo's only here for the next 2 years?
I have Spencer Jones as an untouchable. With some people that I've been talking with, the scouts look at Spencer Jones, they compare him to Aaron Judge, but what a lot of the scouts say right now, where Spencer Jones is, his bat is more advanced than what Aaron Judge it was at that same stage. So for that, I'm keeping hold on Spencer Jones. Spencer Jones, we drafted him, and we only saw like a month and a half, if not 2 months, of Spencer Jones, and he's already the 5th prospect, top 5 prospect in the Yankee system, right? So if Spencer Jones has a full season, I think next season, when you look at the prospect list, Spencer Jones may be battling Jason Dominguez for the top prospect list on the Yankees, in the Yankees system. So Spencer Jones, to me, I'm more willing to deal Austin Wells, Roderick Arias, Will Warren. Those are the prospects I'm more with. If we gotta break away with Peraza, depending on who we're getting back, I really don't want to. But Volpe and Dominguez, to me, is literally, keep their hands off of them. And shout out my guy Tone Wu. Yo, Tone, bro.
What's
Tone,
up?
hit me up, man. I tried calling your phone, bro. I think that your number changed, but hit me up.
All right. So yeah, Austin. I was gonna. Good thing you read that, Mark. I say what else? Because I know you've seen Austin Wells
Mhm.
in person,
And I'm
and
a
I know
big fan of Austin
you're a
Wells.
big
Big
fan.
fan. Yeah.
That's why
yeah.
I was making you. I was gonna put you against the wall there, literally, and ask you that tough question, Austin Wells, or. But I'm glad you cleared that up there. So we
If
shall see.
if we're going after Brian Reynolds, right? If we're going after Brian Reynolds and we could somehow get Bednar back in the trade, I
Mhm.
would center it around Austin Wells, center it around Will Warren, Roderick Arias. You know, some of our prospects, if we got to throw 5 prospects that aren't the top 3 in Spencer Jones, we got to do it. Trey Sweeney, you know, I've been a big fan of Trey Sweeney. He has Troy Tulowitzki kind of power, but Trey Sweeney is another prospect that I think the Yankees could put in a trade to make a move for Brian Reynolds.
And I wanted to say this too. Everybody like I see on Twitter saying, "Oh, you know, what if they want Peraza? They don't need no shortstop because they got O'Neal Cruz." You got to realize O'Neal Cruz is big for a shortstop. So if they got to, they can move him to third, or they can put Peraza at second. So it don't matter.
Second and third.
Yeah, like it really don't matter if they got a shortstop already. If that's what they want, that's what they that's what they prefer. So I mean, it really don't matter about that. But like Hector was saying, like if I'm gonna trade Peraza, it's got to be for somebody that's good, that's coming back to us. And you gotta sign Correa then. If you're gonna trade one of your best shortstops, you gotta sign another shortstop because Volpe's not ready yet. And I know nobody wants IKF at short again.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Speaking of Carlos Correa, he had a sit-down meeting with the Minnesota Twins last night. No word about if contract was extended at all. Also, the Chicago Cubs are hot and heavy for Correa for him to go there. But I don't know. If I'm Carlos Correa, I don't think he'll sign with the Cubs after word gets around. I don't think they didn't treat Mago very well in Chicago. They traded him away. I don't think Correa is going to sign there. I don't think Chicago and unless a lot of money won't talk about VS Walk. Xander Bogaerts, I can see him going to the Cubs. I can see that as a fit.
Yes.
Bogaerts to the Cubs. But personally, if I'm getting getting a shortstop, me personally, that's the name I want for the Yankees. If we don't believe in IKF or Volpe, I want Bogaerts. I don't think he'll be that expensive. He's an American League East player. He knows about the rivalry. He knows about that. He wears number 2. He knows the respect of what Jeter means to this franchise and so forth. To me, that's the guy I want. My short list if I want a shortstop, personally.
Yeah, no, I get that 100%. And when it comes to Volpe, he's definitely going to start the season in AAA. You know, even if he's ranked as like the number 1 prospect in all of baseball, we only saw probably I think 80 at bats from him in AAA last year, so he needs to get more. I think it was like 100 at bats in AAA, so he needs to get at least minimum 75 more AAA at bats before coming up to the majors. Honestly, in my opinion, but you never know. He could probably have a lights out spring training where he's hitting over 400, and he forces the Yankees' hand to have him on the major league roster when opening day starts. So it all depends on Volpe and how he handles the situation moving forward. When it comes to the Yankees spending money, Verlander's off the table, DeGrom's off the table. So Carlos Rodon, that's the next big ticket item when it comes to starting pitchers, right? I would pivot when it comes to the Yankees. Instead of spending money, $80 million or $100 million to bring back Andrew Benintendi, shift that money to Carlos Rodon and use your prospects to go out there and get a Brian Reynolds, because Brian Reynolds, he's under control for the next three seasons, and he's very cheap. So instead of investing $20 or $25 million per season on Andrew Benintendi and being stuck when it comes to payroll flexibility, and extend that to Carlos Rodon for $30 million over 6 seasons.
I could see that the pitching for 6 years. That's something, you gotta, we saw it from Texas. Basically, Texas overpaid to get Jacob deGrom. Basically, they had to overpay. And if you're Jacob deGrom with no state income tax, money wise, and the opportunity, you take it. I don't blame him. I don't blame him taking that there. I'm gonna put a graphic real quick again of the contracts that have been signed so far by the major league. We saw Abreu Verlander, of course, 2 years, 86.6 million. Your Diaz, 102 million. This is the one we're talking about just now, 185 for 5 years. I can't blame DeGrom, although the Mets were going to give him more high ABA, but at less time. He didn't even answer back. He just had his mind made up. 5 years guarantee. He took it. I don't blame him. Now, I would like to, the Yankees got to give 6 years to Rendon. I could see if I could try to get a 5-year with a 6-year
vesting option. Yeah, that's what I would do too. Yeah, that's what I would do too. But also too, Rondon, he's younger than DeGrom, right?
Yeah.
So even if he was to sign a 6-year contract with the Yankees, by the time the contract is over, he'll be the same age as what Jacob DeGrom is right now. So I'm willing to make that trade. The Yankees, when it comes to their minor league system, they produce position players, right? So go with your strength. Put all your money, all your development into your position players, and let your financial flexibility muscle that when it comes to the free agency and going out there and getting that starting pitcher to add to your rotation.
I'll say this too, Hector. Coming off your point, like Rodon's contract, if he signs a 6 years, he's still gonna be out before Cole too. That's what I'm looking at too. As long as it ain't going past Cole's contract, I'm fine with giving him the 6 years. If he wants the 6 years, if he wants the 6 years, give him the 6 years. We need him. He's a lefty.
Yeah, yes. a strong, powerful left-handed pitcher. And if you put him in that rotation and you move everybody back one slot in that rotation, it just makes that rotation just on paper probably one of the top rotations in baseball. Because if you have Nestor Cortez as your number 3 starter, right, with Luis Severino as your number 4 starter, and Frankie Montas as your 5th starter, that right there, it's a top rotation if and only if everybody can stay healthy and pitch to their potential.
And not only that, Frankie Montas on a contract year. Pitchers on a contract year, what they end up doing.
Both him and Sevy on a contract year. They're both going to be on a contract year. Great point, Kev.
Absolutely there.
Good point.
And I want pitching. I want them to get pitching. And I know you mentioned all those starters, so I'm not even going to ask the question, do they get another starter out in the market? You could never have enough pitching. I don't know how they value it, but maybe they want to move a Montas and sign a free agent pitcher. You probably could get something from Frankie Montas. If he thinks New York is not going to fit well for him, listen, you got another year. You could go into a small market team. I don't know. Could you see them swinging a deal for a Montas to get something? Because
I would say no, because Montas right now, his value is super low. It's very low right now. And, I don't want to give up on Montas because he has that potential, right? He has more of an upside to him than what Sonny Gray had when we got him from Oakland, right? So I really like Montas, even though, Kev, you heard me talk a bunch of times with you how I do not trust trading with Oakland. We traded with Oakland. Trevino seemed like a solid bullpen piece. Hopefully we get something out of Frankie Montas. If he's 80% of what Frankie Montas was at his best, I'll be happy with it, especially on a walk season.
I'm going to throw out this here. I want to know your opinion.
Oh, man.
If tells you I want Frankie Montas, and I'm willing to take Donaldson, will you think about moving him?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
I play the Edwin Diaz trumpet noise when both of them are going to the LaGuardia Airport in a heartbeat. Like I said, as much as I like Frankie Montas and I want to see what Frankie Montas can do, if somebody's willing to take Josh Donaldson in this horrible contract for just Frankie Montas, sign me up right now. I'll make that trade 10 times over.
Right,
and
go ahead.
I wanted to say this too, because people have been bringing this up, because the whole A's pitching fiasco when they come to the other teams, they're not good. People got to realize about the whole Brian Reynolds thing, because some people, Brian Reynolds can't make it in New York. Well, I don't know his mental, but when it comes to Pirates hitters coming to the Yankees, I mean, all I got to do is Xavier Nady. He was good for us until he got hurt.
Very good.
Yeah, he was good. He was good for us. So it's I trust the Pirate system. The A's is a little funky when it comes to the pitchers.
He's a switch hitter. He's a good switch hitter. He's a switch hitter.
I don't know. I just think that any concern, even the bullpen, like David Bednar, I mean, look how many relievers we got from Pittsburgh, and look what they transitioned to us.
Yeah.
So it's I trust their system. A's A's in Tampa. I can't trust Tampa system neither when it comes to pitchers.
I've got a hot take. I'm going on record here with you guys.
Go ahead, baby.
Next year, American League pitcher who's going to be phenomenal, possibly Cy Young, or it's going to have a phenomenal year, is going to be Capillion. Coming off of the injury, I think he's gonna for the Athletics. He's gonna, and it's funny because he was a former Yankee, and of course we're talking about A's pitching. If I'm looking at a dark horse, and it's funny you mentioned that because I was reading it earlier. I was reading an article, and he's coming back and he's strong. He's getting strong. I said, man, James Capillion for the Athletics. Watch him have a phenomenal year, and be a trading target to get them prospects. And I know you mentioned you don't trust the Athletics pitching and all that.
Yeah.
Also, speaking about the Athletics, the Yankees have made contact for Sean Murphy for the catcher for the Athletics. Also, the Minnesota Twins, the Guardians are hot and heavy. They would like to bring in Murphy. It worries me, the Yankees, because we got 3 catchers. You know, Trevino. I know Trevino fizzled down in the stretch, but we haven't seen Rothbeck. Ben Rothbeck, we don't know what he is, but it's interesting that they're willing to kick the tires on Murphy there, Hector.
Oh no, Ben Rothbeck, he's going to be the backup catcher for the Yankees this season. I literally just deep diving into him within these past couple of days. He's back to working out. He has workout videos that are out there. He's definitely going to be in play for the backup position with the Yankees. Listen, when he was, in the minors as a prospect, his defense is what people raved about, right? So if we can have a Gold Glove backup catcher who's a left-handed bat that has pop, I think the Yankees, they have something here with Ben Rothbeck, right? These are one of those moves that Brian Cashman makes, low risk, high rewards. Ben Rothbeck, he was a top-rated prospect when he was in high school. Minnesota Twins, they got him. So as a prospect, he was definitely had the tools to be a Gold Glove catcher, right? And that's all we can ask from our backup catcher. He's a left-handed hitter as well that has some pop. So anything, it's just an upside move for the Yankees.
And they love Luis Trevino. He's doing a lot of stuff. He's doing a lot of stuff for the Yankees, representing the New York Yankee brand in schools and off the field. You don't see that from. And I'm not saying Higashioka is not doing nothing either. But the Yankees are going out of their way to show what Trevino is doing outside of the Yankee organization. Off season and being part with the Yankee emblem and the brand. So it doesn't look good for Higgy. He might lose his position on the roster there.
Oh, he's gone. Forward. Yeah, he's gone this offseason. Kyle Higashioka, the home run stroker, great nickname, but I wish you well in your future endeavors, my man. If you want to come back in the future and coach a minor league team or be on the bench of a minor league team, you could definitely do that. But being a part of this roster going forward, no way.
All right, so we'll move on from the catcher's position. I'm going to take you a little bit off topic. I just want to hear your thoughts from outside the Yankees. Trea Turner. Now, the reason why I'm bringing Turner's name up, not only the Yankees were thinking about him, but it also affects the judge negotiation here. Because here goes the Phillies, the moronic Phillies, but they have a method to their madness. They give him an 11-year deal, $300 million. They only bid against themselves. The Dodgers weren't nowhere near it. The Yankees weren't, no. We didn't even hear them kicking the tires on Trea Turner, although they had interest, but they never got to the table. And Philly just said, here, screw it. I got 11 million, 11 years, $300 million. And Judge sees that contract. He sees the years on that. What is he, he's going to say, well, I need something similar.
When it comes to the market, I think, and granted, Trea Turner and Aaron Judge, 2 different players on 2 different levels, totally separate. But I think it hurts Aaron Judge because Trea Turner is younger. Trea Turner is more versatile. Judge was supposed to set the market for Trea Turner, right? If you look at it, 11 years, $300 million, that's not that bad. Maybe the years may be a bit too long, but when it comes to the annual value, right, the AAV, it's going to be less than what Judge is seeking. So, Judge has to now look at 8 years for $300 million. He's going to have to be on the side of more taking that, than risking getting lowballed by another team.
Chris, what's your take on that?
The Trea Turner situation, I agree with Hector. The years might be too much, but he's actually saving them money because he could have easily got a higher AAV, but he didn't.
Yeah,
And,
I just did the math, Chris. My fault because I didn't have it in my
you
head.
good, you
It's
good.
$27 to $28 million per
Yeah.
season.
That's a good
And,
deal.
yeah,
That's a great deal.
yeah. And then he gets to pair with his buddy again, Bryce Harper. So I mean, that's another factor that he probably chose. I know, I saw that.
What the Pope? I can't stand you,
Yeah.
bro. I swear to God. I swear to God. Every time I see Pope, it's just violence. Shout out to you, my guy.
Hey, Pope. I haven't seen him in a while.
Do you be honest? You think Yankees are going that 9th year to get Judge?
I would. For the simple fact, and check this out, Kev. You know, I want your opinion on this. I would go for 9 years when it comes to Aaron Judge for one reason and one reason alone. By the time Aaron Judge is 35 years old, Giancarlo Stanton won't be a part of this team. So then, at the start of that season, 35 years old, Aaron Judge is a full-time DH. So I will go for those 9 years. I'm definitely going for those 9 years. He's our guy. 9 years, 360. I'm doing it. You have to do it.
I think the Yankees. I was mentioned earlier. I started it off with saying, you know, I first mentioned it off starting off talking about Fred McGriff. We'll get that in a moment. Then secondly was Judge. I think the Yankees go 9 years, $275 million. I think they'll give him that 375 option for a 10th year. You know, and of course making him the captain of the New York Yankees. Personally, I think, like you said, after Giancarlo Stanton leaves or his contract is available, I don't think they'll sign him. They'll let him go on his merry way or whatever the case happens. Then you move Judge into the designated hitter role. You know, the veteran, the captain, the iconic figure. Of course, they're going to make so much money with Judge's chambers. You kidding me? You think they're willing to get rid of? I understand construction. You just snap of fingers and you move Judge's chambers out of there and you get that gimmick out. But the money it generates on merchandise, revenue, the Yes Network, all that, we know that it's half of that money comes from the TV revenues. If they're going to end up paying the $375 million, let's say $150 million comes from the TV right there alone, and then concessions and merchandising. I mean, you know, it's worth it for that investment. You got to invest money to make money, and I think the Yankees got to get that concept. Listen, these billionaires aren't billionaires for being idiots. They're billionaires because they know how to make money multiply. So I'm thinking, you know, for the Giants, they'll give them a buzz. They'll be recognized, and they'll get maybe some more nationally televised games. But let's face it, we're not going to stay up until 10 o'clock at night to watch Aaron Judge play for the San Francisco Giants. Maybe the first game to see how he looks. But other than that, that's it.
Yep. And I said this also, right? You know, Mike Trout has been known as the best player within the past 10 years in Major League Baseball, right? But Kev, you got a bunch of normie baseball fans that you know, even some diehard baseball fans. If Mike Trout was walking down the street right in front of them, would they recognize him as Mike Trout?
They would not. They might not even, you know, that question was mentioned. I don't know different. I heard that, and it's the truth. You won't know who Mike Trout is. He could walk in and they might even think he's Hunter Renfroe. You know, for the diehards.
I'm trying to think right now. Like, I don't even know how this man sounds. Like, I'm thinking about it right now. I don't even remember how Mike Trout even sounds.
Correct. Now, Judge, he walks into any arena or anywhere in the airport, he's larger than life. 6'7",
instant.
You know, the little gap between, you know, well, now he fixed his teeth, but you know, he's just like, whoa, this is Aaron Judge, larger than life. And the Yankees don't let larger than life persona walk out the door, you know, you could say Cano, whatever the case was. They don't let it. That's not Yankee way, unless if they know something that we don't know. You know, if they know that his oblique is on strings, and it was a miracle he made through the years, the whole season without any oblique issues. Then I understand that, and I hope they don't kill him. Like, oh, we just hurt him because he has a bad oblique. But you know, if they move on, and I think the Yankees, if he does go elsewhere, will be classy enough. He just moved on, and whatever the case was. But I don't see him going anywhere. And listen, I know we're talking about 9 years, but if they have to give him 2 more years or make it 11 years, I know Pope said no, but if you make it 11 years with some options, as a Yankee fan, I can't. We have given bad contracts for other people's crap.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest with you. And
yes.
And if we stay with our guys, that if even if we send them the extra 2 years, you know what? I'm all right with it. I'm still gonna buy the merchandise. I'm still gonna watch the team, no matter
Yes.
what. So, and it's our homegrown. It's our kid.
I wanted-
perfect. Go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. I wanted to say this too. I wasn't going to give Judge the 9th year, but then I thought about it. I was like, well, like you said, we took other people's crap with the bad contracts. If we go longer and we get a lower AAV, I'm fine with it, because then it Hal and them don't have the excuse. Oh man, we gave Judge all this money. We can't sign nobody else. Like I feel like that's what's gonna happen if it's a high AV, because he's gonna renege on what he said earlier. Oh, we have enough for Judge and somebody else, and it's like if you give Judge all that money, you're gonna use that excuse, and then us Yankee fans, we're not stupid. Like I don't understand that. Like don't do that. And if you need money that bad, how? There's two ways you can make that money back: win the World Series like you're supposed to, or Hector brought this up on one of his shows before too. Wait till that first baseman come out of Japan, and when Rizzo contract comes up, sign him, and that's Asian market right there. That's money.
Yep.
And I believe they were in talk about the Asian I forget his name.
Yoshida?
Is it Ishida? Kodai Yoshida?
You talking about the first baseman or the left fielder?
No, the pitcher and the left fielder.
Kodai Senga and Kodai Senga is the pitcher, and Masataka Yoshida is the left fielder.
They were talking about Yoshida first, the pitcher for the Yankees. We're talking about also the Mets. Now I think the Mets, if they go hard after Sita, you're looking for a Shohei Ohtani, because there's a lot of talk, a lot of traction that Shohei Ohtani is what the Mets want, because they didn't even want to look at Judge, because they want to say, well, their chips and their bullets for Shohei Ohtani. Although we all know desperately the Mets need a bat. They desperate need a bat in that lineup. But they're willing to wait it out, get pitcher heavy, because they want the Ohtani in the midseason, because then also Anaheim. If you look at Anaheim, I know we're talking a little bit off the Yankees, but Anaheim, all the Shohei Ohtani giveaways are before July.
The trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's no Shohei Ohtani promotions after the trade deadline next year. So that's a signal right there that he's going to be traded. That alone showed you that he's going to be traded.
Well, I know there's a Yankee thing. God. I want to say this too.
Let's click that for a minute. No, not.
Oh God!
Did the man give us an update? Huge offer for the Giants.
Oh no!
I don't think he takes it, guys. I don't think he takes the Giants offer. I know he says he wants to go back home, but he lives in Tampa. He has a beautiful home in Tampa. He's a Tampa native. He goes up and down Tampa, everywhere. You saw him yesterday at the Bucks game. He's spring training is in Tampa for the Yankees. He lives in Tampa, so he's gonna uproot and go live in and go get a home. I know when money talks and he has walked, but he's gonna go to Arizona, and then I don't think he's gonna. That's why and Digga, man, I love it when you wrote 360. That's why I think it's gonna get done at 375 for the Yankees. I just think.
Oh God! Listen, I do not want to be on this stream if it's announced that he's with the Giants, because I'm a cry.
I'm gonna be all right with it, but
me too.
I'm gonna be sad. Yes,
but if that happens, if he goes to the Giants, y'all have to hurry up and pivot. Like it shouldn't. Don't grieve like Cashman. You have to hurry up and pivot.
This team is smart. As much as we make fun out of Cashman, or not make fun, or think that he shouldn't be the manager, whatever, the general manager, so forth. Yankees always got a plan A and plan B. When Robinson Cano, and I want to bring it back to Cano leaving, they already had plan B. Even though we hated it and we detested Jacoby Dingleberry, but they still went and got him. They still had to move.
And not for nothing, before his injury, right? That second season, he was batting over 300. Was on track to be an all-star before that crazy injury sidetracked him.
Yep.
Mind you, it was a horrible contract, right? Even the stuff he did towards the end, still showing up in a Red Sox jersey at Fenway Park while you're getting paid by the Yankees, my guy, is a bad look. But I'm not for nothing. Before that injury happened, he was batting over 300 on his way to be an all-star.
Indeed. And plus, by the way, go ahead, Chris.
And I was about to say, plus they was trying to do that Brett Gardner 9th hitter, and he was the leadoff hitter. It was working, and then like Hector said, he was just getting hurt.
Yeah.
And the Giant and the good point. Giants are not even good with Judge. They might have a good lineup. I'll bring that up in another stream there if Judge happens to go there. But hopefully we don't have to. I hope I don't waste my time making a graphic that way. But my point was Ellsbury's going to be part of the coaching staff for San Francisco. By the way, just wanted
Of
to
course.
fact. Yeah, he's going to be part of the coaching staff there in San Francisco. But for the Yankees here, we're just waiting and see. Like you said, hopefully we don't pivot. We pivot. We don't get lingering with the
Yeah.
moves now and get going. And let me. Jiggerman says,
Yeah, blame him for the- No, that's what I was trying to tell. I can't think of his name. Jason. Like Cashman should have closed his mouth when he said the first offer, the 213 offer. That put a bad taste in Judge's mouth.
Yeah.
yeah, but he
Like-
still. If he really was disappointed or annoyed, he wouldn't have had the season he had though.
Well, I think that was more if he was trying to prove Cashman wrong for giving him that contract, the 213. And don't get me wrong, it was a decent offer, but now looking back at it, and especially the money that he's about to get, that offer wasn't really too good.
It's a slap in the face, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a slap in the face.
Well, he did admit he almost took that offer. He thought about taking that offer.
I'm happy he didn't.
But imagine if he would have took that offer, right, and he would have played, and we all would have been right now throwing a parade right now. The Yankees.
Oh,
signed the
definitely.
budget. And plus, we
Yeah.
got money. But now we could go get the money. We got money to get all these other players and all these, hindsight is 2020 always when it comes to these contracts and all these speculations and stuff. That's why it's fun. That's why it becomes the hot stove. That's why it makes us here to sit around and have these conversations and these roundtable discussion about it. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and like there's Yankee fans that are online, and I'm not calling anyone specific out, but there's certain Yankee fans online that are saying let Judge walk because then we could get two players for the price of Judge. That makes no sense. If you look at the contract Trea Turner just got, right? So if the Yankees were to trade for Trea Turner, right? Trea Turner sign Trea Turner and Carlos Correa. That's going to be $600 million.
Uh-huh.
That's not two of Judge. That's Aaron Judge and something else.
Let me ask you this. Let's just put these two. Look, I'm gonna put the graphic one more time, and just these two. If you're telling me if the Yankees would have signed Turner and Abreu instead of Rizzo and Judge, would they be better? No.
No.
Nah.
No.
No.
Listen, I love Jose Abreu. He's a phenomenal bat, but him and Rizzo, like Judge and Rizzo, no, he may be a better hitter at this stage than Anthony Rizzo, but Anthony Rizzo is a left-handed bat at Yankee Stadium. You can't take that away. If Jose Abreu was a left-handed bat, it's a totally different conversation.
And also with the shift being taken
gone,
out.
yeah. His batting average could easily sit anywhere from 260 to 270.
That's also another thing we need to keep a thought here with this free agency. Also, I would love to, personally, I would love the Yankees to get back left-handed heavy. Because I wouldn't mind another Benintendi to come back at a cheaper price or another left-handed bat because the shift is going away. Now the left-handed hitters were going to get a higher, better average. They don't have to now get that launch angle to try to put over the porch because of that extra infielder. That's why I would love them to get a little left there. And Pope says, who'd you rather have, Turner at 300 or Judge for 375? I take Judge at 375 because we have a plethora of talent at the shortstop in the middle infield position.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to why not? Why get more of what you're strong at where you have that is all star level in Judge.
And not only that.
Go ahead, Chris.
Oh
no, I was gonna say when the difference between like Judge and Cano is that when Cano signed this contract and when Judge is going to sign his contract this offseason, Aaron Judge he takes care of his body, right? He's in shape. Robinson Cano, it's not one of those guys to have an extra workout at 3:00 in the morning like Aaron Judge is willing to do.
Yeah,
and the Yankees knew that. Go ahead, Chris.
And I bet you if you ask Cano, would he sign that contract or would he stay with the Yankees and have a better career? He probably chose the Yankees because that I don't know. I understand you wanted more money, but it's like the Yankees did offer him a decent contract. And Bernie Williams, I heard an interview, like he said the same thing. Like, I bet you Cano regrets signing with Seattle because once you leave the pinstripes, it's a lot different. And I agree, it is.
With that
And
sentiment,
the Yankees offered Cano more money when it comes to his annual value, right? The annual salary was more than what Seattle offered. It's just Seattle gave him those extra 3 years on the deal.
now knowing this from Cano and seeing what his regrets, and of course players talk, they conversate. Do you think that will a factor now, Judge's decision? Look, I saw Robinson Cano leave, go over there, or even Jacob deGrom leaving, and do that persuade or enter to play and go, wow, damn, if deGrom left and they were like nothing. What are your thoughts? Do you think that persuades or no?
I think deGrom was ultimately disrespected by the Mets because every season, you know, when they was having contract talks, they were always lowballing him, right? He literally took $100 million less than what he could have gotten on the open market to re-sign back with them back in the day, right? So he wanted those extra 2 years for security. You know, yes, they offered him more money per season, but then when you look at it, they didn't offer him more money per season. Texas actually offered him more. So ultimately, Jacob deGrom was disrespected by the Mets multiple times, and he was just fed up with the organization. Yes, it's different owners. Yes, it's different philosophy right now, but it's still the same taste in his mouth.
Yeah.
I was gonna go ahead, Chris.
Oh, because I was about to say this, because I posted this on Twitter too. Like, I don't care how bad the contract is. If the man's the reason why you won a World Series, that contract is worth it. Like, people got like AJ Burnett. His contract was horrible, but all we remember him was that 1 year, and that 1 year was the World Series. Like, other than that, we don't care about everything else because he produced the chip. So it's like that's the way I think. I don't care as long as they win something with us. I'm fine with the contract.
Right, and I was gonna bring the point with the Mets and with deGrom. I personally think Steve Cohen should have handled that personally to sign Jacob deGrom, not Billy Epler. I think, you know, because he was a minority owner when the Wilpons were here trying to lowball Jacob deGrom, and him being a rabid Met fan that he is as an owner, I think he should have gotten involved and done the negotiation personally. And I think if he would have done that, I think deGrom would have came back as a Met, because I think Cohen really appreciated what Jacob deGrom meant, not just for the Met organization, but the Met fan base. I think that's just my opinion, but it may move down there, and I hope that Robinson Cano's move to Seattle, how he disappeared and to nowhere, affects Judge's thought process. Am I going to go, or maybe he's the type of player that doesn't want the spotlight right now. I just want to go make my money and go disappear. Go and just I'll go collect my millions, and I'm happy wife, happy life, and let's go forward. Maybe that's something that Judge doesn't want, that pressure probably right now. He had that epic, maybe the 62 home run season, with all that pressure and all that fame, or that in a fishbowl, in a microscope, in the lens, might persuade where I want to go to San Francisco, where I don't care if people see me much, I'll still make money, and you see me at the All-Star game, maybe.
Yeah, it's starting to get worrisome, right? But like we said, bringing up Cano is a perfect comparison, because Aaron Judge, he has to ask himself this question: does he want his legacy to be Robinson Cano going to the West Coast to chase the money, or does he want his legacy to be Derek Jeter becoming a captain and being a lifelong Yankee? What does he want his legacy? And that's what it's going to come down to. Mikey Mouse is back.
So I have a report, actually, an update for you on the Aaron Judge situation.
Go for it.
The San Francisco Giants have made him an offer with the dollar value of north of $360 million, which is roughly $40 million per year average annual value. Years haven't been put out yet, but if that's the case, we can watch more in San Francisco.
No, I'm keeping him. I'm bringing him back for
I
that
know
price.
Jigger Man mentioned it just a little bit earlier. I know you were on a call there, but we have to give credit where credit is due there. But he, Mikey, you say no? You don't? I say nine for 375, man.
No, it's too much.
Okay.
Nah.
Especially with him being on the wrong side of 30.
Okay. I mean,
Unless you front load the hell out of that deal.
Nah, because if you look at it, if it's 9 years, the first 5 years is going to be him as a right fielder, and the last 4 is going to be a DH.
By the way, he played majority of the games. This 31-year-old that you're talking about played majority of the games in center field last year, and then played the Gold Glove.
And I don't know who said this first. I know I heard the shift say this, and I did look it up. He did play first base too in college.
There you go.
I guess you could try him out first.
So the shift, I'm gonna give the shift the credit. Like he did. Like that's the first person I heard brought that up.
Didn't know that. Did not know
Hey,
that.
Mickey,
the stature of it.
Yep.
Mickey Mantle played first base in his last year with the Yankees. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Like I said, I don't mind the contract if it's more years and low AAV. I'm fine with it. But if he's getting over 40, like say if it's a $400 million contract, I'm not doing that. But if it's like 360, 10 years or 9 years, I'm fine with it.
My concern is the production after those first 5 years. Is he really going to be that productive? If we're paying him if he's getting paid all that money, is he really going to be productive in the last 4 years of that deal? 5, whatever year he gets.
Mike, I'll ask you this because I brought this up too. So what if? Because we're doing the if game. What if Judge brings us 2 chips?
If he brings us 2 chips, great.
Yeah.
He brings us 2 chips.
I'm saying, is that contract worth it?
Then if he's bringing us 2 world championships, then yeah, the contract's worth it. But there's no guarantee though that they're going to get those championships.
But there's no guarantee that he might fall off neither.
Well, this is
We
why
don't know.
I think that's why you bring in some milestone clause. You want to pay him close to what the San Francisco Giants going to give him, or maybe a little higher, but you put some escalation clause, a milestone. If you hit as 500 home runs as the Yankee bonuses, they did that with A-Rod. One of the things with Alex Rodriguez, he had a lot of milestone bonuses. If he would have been over 660 and so forth, you could do that with Judge. If he plays X amount of games in center field, or if he stays healthy
for X amount
of games, you could get enticing, you could get very creative and allow where Judge is like, whoa, I don't think San Francisco could do such a thing, and you bring him. He's your homegrown. I don't know. I think personally, this is where a steady guy who's been a general manager for over 20 plus years in Cashman actually comes in good, and you really need that because he knows he's done these contracts. He's dealt with the Yankee legends and free agents. I know we all say we didn't like the way he handled Jeter and so forth, but Jeter never walked. Of course, we don't know that. Bernie, because of Steinbrenner. But my point is, he's been in the room. He's been in the meetings. He's been in how it's done. He knows the significance on how to deal with these immortal Yankees returning and not leaving him out the door. So I think that's why I'm confident. I think he's Judge stays, in my opinion.
And I don't know if you touched on this, but I still would not wait on Judge's decision.
Oh, no,
I would still get the pieces that you need, because God forbid he walks. At least now you've done something to help the team, whether it be trading for a Ryan Reynolds or trading for his first starter or doing whatever it needs to be. Those are just examples, but getting the pieces you need in the event that he does walk, now it's less work that you have to do. You're showing the fans that, hey, we're not just blah, 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 blah. We're actually da, 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 and da, 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 da.
I personally think
No, I was going to say this real quick, and I'll throw it to you, Kev. There's no free agent that's out there, position player wise or starting pitcher wise, that the Yankees could pivot to that's going to equal to the production of Aaron Judge over the next 4 to 5 seasons. There's none. Carlos Correa, as much as we love him, he's not equaling to what Aaron Judge does.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't disagree on that.
There's Andrew Benintendi. We bring him back. He's not equaling nowhere near. So there's no. We got to think over the next 4 to 5 seasons, right? Even future free agent pools, right? Even look into the future of free agency. There's no one in the future that's coming out of free agency over these next 5 seasons that's going to equal the production of Aaron Judge over those next 5 years.
And I want to say this too, like, because everybody keeps talking about Judge's health and stuff like that. Stop comparing Judge to Giancarlo Stanton. That don't mean because they're the same height that his body's gonna do the same thing as Giancarlo's. That's not how that works. Like I don't understand that. Oh, Giancarlo ain't got no legs, bro. Oh no.
No.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was gonna go to the next point. Juan Soto. Oh, if Judge leaves, you're gonna sign Juan Soto. I don't think San Diego just offered $342 million, the same as Lindor, to Trea Turner. They've got money. You think they're gonna net Juan Soto leave?
Yeah.
No, but look at what Juan Soto did last year. Is that close to what Aaron Judge did? Look at Juan Soto's best season. Is it close to what Aaron Judge did last year? That's what I'm saying. Production wise, Juan Soto will be a perfect pickup at 25 or 26 years old. I'm not arguing that. I'm talking about production over the next 5 seasons. There's no free agent that's out there. Juan Soto is not equaling the production of what Aaron Judge did this past season or even on his worst season. His injured seasons. Look at even those 2 injury-riddled seasons, he hit over 20 home runs.
Yeah, but the position. Go ahead, Mikey.
Here's another question for you. Let's say the Yankees do up their offer, which they did, but mind you, to $340 million. Where do you draw the line and say we can't go any higher because now we don't have the money to spend on other free agents to help fill those holes? Where does that line get
the
drawn?
Yankees are worth $6.9 billion. They have the money to spend it. It's just, are they willing to spend it? Before the pandemic, the Yankees had 6 straight seasons on stadium revenue alone, $600 million plus. On stadium revenue alone, that's after the bills are paid, that's after payroll is done, that's after taxes
and everything.
This is all profit. $600 million for 6 straight seasons. They literally said a couple weeks ago the Yankees on to do the same records that they were doing before the pandemic.
Yeah, we gotta hold Kyle accountable. When he said we could get Judge and somebody else. We need to see that. I don't want to hear no more money excuses.
And Hal Steinbrenner just inked the deal and just locked it up with New York State to have a casino in Coney Island. They have the money.
He got to stop worrying about that. I'm sorry. That casino, there's no reason for that. Worry about the team before a casino.
No, it's a money haven. What do you mean? It's a money cow. That's what he's a businessman at the end of the day. He's all about spending money. And if you're going to bring back Aaron Judge, the perfect place to marquee him is a casino.
Right. And then you do it in Coney Island where you have Staten Island, New Jersey there. You have Long Island where now they don't have to go all the way to Uncasville, Connecticut. They could even take a ferry from the shore into Coney Island to the casinos. There's so much money grab. Or even if you're in Hudson Valley, you could even take a boat or you could do cruises into the casinos to Coney Island, up and down the Hudson River. There's so many opportunities there. You know, I know we were talking with Sergeant, but that's a money pit. That's a smart business move. Like I mentioned earlier, I was telling you guys, these guys are not billionaires for being idiots. They know how to produce and make money. They know how to multiply money. Is that for us? It might not be aspirable or it may not make sense at the moment, but they're 3-4 steps ahead of us to make money. So that's why I think they got to make money to make money.
And on top of it too, right. You know, I understand it, right. You know, there's a limit to how much they could spend because it's all a profit game at the end of the day, right? But this is what I want to understand, and this is what I want us Yankee fans, even in the chat, whoever's watching, this is what we have to understand. What is the logic, right? What is the logic? Last offseason, if the front office was willing to bring in $30 million of payroll for
Mhm.
Josh Donaldson, IKF, right, and Ben Broadback, you're willing to bring in $30 million for those three players. What is the logic that tells you I'd rather spend $30 million on those three players and not $33 to $35 million on Carlos Correa? What is the logic behind stopping you to spend an extra $5 million on a star like Carlos Correa? That's what us Yankee fans have. That's the question we need to ask the front office.
And
It's a good
I'll say this too. It's not like we want all the best players with these big deals. To be honest with you, I guarantee you, Yankee fans would be happy if you got Judge, Rodon, and traded for some pieces. That's not too much to ask for.
Yeah.
So let me put this out there for you guys. Let's say we do end up re-signing Judge, right?
Mhm.
Would you still want to go out and trade for Brian Reynolds?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we say
Yes.
yeah. We
Yes,
mentioned-
Left fielder. Yep.
Because you use that money that you're going to use on Benintendi for Carlos Rodon, right? It's
Mhm.
all the money game at the end of the day. You got to look at it like this, right? Aaron Judge's contract, it's when you pay that off because Aaron Judge made $17 million last year. Remove that 17, right?
Yep.
Right? Aroldis Chapman made $18 million. Remove that $18 million.
Gone.
Zach Britton made $15 million. Remove that. Aaron Judge just gets paid off of those three subtractions with $7 million to still play with about $7 million to still play around with. So if the Yankees are able to get off Josh Donaldson's contract, Aaron Hicks's contract, Jameson Taillon is gone. If we're able to get rid of
Gleyber.
those two contracts, Gleyber Torres, I don't think Gleyber now because of like the news of DJ LeMahieu, but if
Yeah.
we're able to get rid of Aaron Hicks and Josh Donaldson, those two contracts, that's Carlos Rodon right there.
Mhm.
So then I guess the next question is, do you still go after one of the big name free agent shortstops to try to fill that void so the young kids are ready?
That's why I was going to
No.
bring. I don't say because I was going to say the Donaldson back to the Donaldson trade with Minnesota. They want to get rid of Sanchez. Also, they and they like IKF. Believe it or not, they do. The organization do like IKF. They think their guys are. They think the young kids, Volpe and Peraza, are about 2 years removed. They wanted, they like them as a stopgap shortstop for the next 2 to 3 years. Also, they like Robeck. Like you said, he's a great defensive-minded catcher. Also, I think the organization really liked it. And you know what? We'll eat the Donaldson money because we kind of need someone to put a chip or an edge in that clubhouse. A little feisty chip. You know what? We'll take it. If you're not going to take prospects, high-level prospects off of us, and it's going to cost us money, I think that's where the Yankees made that move. They didn't pivot to a Correa and so forth because they knew they had to pay Judge. They knew they were going to have to pay Judge and so forth. And I think that's why last year didn't make sense to us, but now this year I think it's starting to make sense now why they did that move last year. In my opinion, I just the way I see it, I saw now it makes sense. Sometimes you have to wait for it to develop and marinate and breathe.
The other thing they could do if they were so inclined, if they really wanted to get an extra starter on top of Rodon, right? They could call up a team like Miami and be like, hey, what do you want for a Trevor Rogers? Or go to Detroit and be like, hey, what do you want for a Struble? Try to build off of that. Try to get that extra arm in the rotation. Because in the event that they do end up signing Rodon, you still want to have that extra safety net in the event that Sevy goes down or Montas doesn't pan out. You don't want to be left with Cole, Rodon, and then everything else is question marks.
Yeah, me personally, I don't. Struble, Tyler Rogers, they're fantastic pitchers, but I don't want number 3 starters. I want an established number 1 starter in this rotation. Over the past 20 years, Brian Cashman has tried to get that young starting pitcher that has the potential to be an ace from other teams, but they never panned out with the Yankees. Jeff Weaver, perfect example. We traded with Detroit for him, never panned out for the Yankees, right? We did this with oh my God, the Big
Vasquez.
Maple, John Axford, Javier Vasquez, another perfect
James
example.
Paxton?
James Paxton, yeah, the big maple. That other pitcher, that Michael Pineda. We've tried to do this so many different times, trading for a number one or a potential number one from another team, and it never panned out. And Struble and Tyler Rogers seem like phenomenal pitchers. They could probably be good pitchers down the line, but I want someone that's already established.
I get that, and I understand that.
And I want to say this too: if we trade for Brian Reynolds, don't be surprised if Domingo Germán's name is in that deal too, because of his contract.
Or Clark Smith.
Yeah,
Clark
Smith.
If you was to put Clark Smith in the rotation of the Pittsburgh Pirates, he would probably be the second best pitcher in that rotation.
Yeah,
and Germán would probably be their best.
Yeah.
You have to lose both. Probably lost both Germán and Clark Smith will probably go on that deal. Also, there was names out there. Woodruff and Corbin Burns were names out there.
See, that would those would be two guys I'd be willing to take.
Yeah, but they're not trading them. Milwaukee.
Milwaukee's going to.
Yeah,
it's not that. It's Milwaukee's going to want Volpe. Milwaukee want Dominguez.
They're going to want a lot.
They're going to want Parada. They're going to want the top 5, top 6 prospects, and they have all rights to do that. You know, those are two pitchers, and I'm not doing that. I want the Yankees to focus when it comes to their prospect, and I said it earlier on the show with Kev, to focus their prospect and developing position players and go out there and spend your money on your number one, on your pitching rotation. Look at the aces that the Yankees have had over the years. They all been via free agency. The last true ace that the Yankees developed was Whitey Ford. Everything after Whitey Ford, we went out in free agency to got Catfish Hunter. You know, we traded for Roger Clemens. You know, we signed David Wells. You know, we signed CC Sabathia. But I wouldn't say Pettit's a number one, is what I'm saying.
No,
he was a good solid number 2. It was a good
David Cone.
David Cone's another one.
David Wells.
And those are all guys that the Yankees traded for, signed for, or signed in free agency, not developed.
Right, Jimmy Key.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The last time we had a number one like prospect in baseball was that starting pitcher, Kev. I forgot his name, that injured himself in that at that bar fight because somebody
Brian Williams,
brother.
Taylor.
That's the last time we had a number one prospect in all of baseball. Now we're blessed with one with Anthony Volpe. Hopefully the Yankees, if Anthony Volpe hits the ground running and he's a stud at the major league level, let this Aaron Judge contract negotiation foreshadow you signing Anthony Volpe years before he reached free agency.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to entice Judge. That's the thing, like you said earlier, Hector, is you want to entice Judge to want to come back. You can't just say, hey, we're going to throw all this money at you, because he could come back and say, well, what are you doing to surround me with the pieces that we need? Because that's another thing we got to think about.
Yeah, that's why we're going to sign Rondon and trade for Brian Reynolds.
Yeah, see, that's the difference between us and the Giants. We could do more. I don't see the Giants signing Judge, Correa, and a pitcher. I can't see that happening for the Giants, but we can actually do that. I mean, I don't want Correa if we get Judge in the pitcher, but I'm just saying we can do the moves that we need to keep Judge. I think if the Giants give Judge over $400 million, I think they'd be hamstrung to do anything else.
And our prospects are better than the Giants.
Yeah, better. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say the Giants ain't even bringing Rodon back. That's their own pitcher, guys. Oh, comment 19 comment, salute, man. It's good.
My man, comment. Listen, Sixto Sanchez, he has the potential to be a number one. That's somebody that I would take. Sixto Sanchez like that. That's a pitcher that I would take. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he was one of those low-level pitchers that we sent to Miami when we traded for Giancarlo Stanton, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. And we got to be careful now. The reason we got to be careful now that Don Mattingly is the bench coach for the Toronto Blue Jays. We got to be careful now which pitchers, which names. If we start seeing Toronto engaging Miami in some talks for those pitchers, we got to be careful there because Toronto has a lot of plethora of talent that they could send. They're a little bit major league ready too. You saw they got rid of the Oscar Hernandez, and they also got Kevin Biggio on that roster. They could do some moves there to get some pitchers. So that's a sleeper. That's a little bit that kind of worried me when I saw Mattingly as a bench coach for the Blue Jays.
So here's something I want to throw out to you guys. What about Xander Bogaerts?
That's my darling one that I want.
I would say that if you're going to go after any name other than Rodon, and I am all for getting Rodon, and I've said this since the beginning, Bogaerts would be the person to get. Bogaerts is a defensive whiz at shortstop. And that way, if you got Bogaerts, you could slide IKF to third where he won a gold glove and tell Donaldson to sit on the bench because he can't hit. He's a liability at the plate, but defensively, okay. He can play the field a little bit, but you get Bogaerts, you slide him in at short, IKF at third, and then you can put a guy like Volpe or Peraza at second and be like, hey, you want to play here while we have Bogaerts, you got to learn to play second.
You also got, don't forget, Oswaldo Cabrera on the team, who could play jack of all trades. He's better.
Yeah.
He's better an infielder than an outfielder. If you got Reynolds, you bring back Judge, and you got now you could bring Oswaldo Cabrera to play around the diamond.
But you know what I'm saying? So now you're actually putting the money back into the team. Right. Now it's not just, hey, we're going to go out and spend like we did in 2008. We're going to go out and spend like we did in this year or this year. Now you're actually doing it. Now you're showing the fans that, okay, maybe we should have some faith. Because at this point, I got no faith in how to do anything. Until he actually proves us that he's going to do something, why should I believe that he's going to actually go out and spend?
No, this is a pivotal winter free agent. This is a very pivotal for the New York Yankees franchise because it's going to tell us if we're going to be ascending and continuing the above 500 and possibly a World Series run, or we're going to take probably be middle of the pack, 500, above 500 barely, and where we could see that the Yankees got, they're going to have to start developing and they're going to have some little bit of dark ages before we get back to our glory. So this is a very important winter, very important free agency period, and it all starts with Judge and therefore from all the domino effect. And it'd be interesting to see. One thing I do say is Cashman here. So I think they're going to go into the World Series and continue to ascend because if you would have bought a new GM, then you could go with the new GM wants to do it his way. He wants to tear it down and do it. He'll have his imprint. So I kind of 4-year deal. I know we didn't want Cashman back, but I think that all signs tells me that the Yankees are going to still go for that World Series and to become the Yankees, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you, Kev. And we said it, this offseason, it's a very important offseason for the Yankees. As long as Brian Cashman is here, Aaron Boone is going to be here, right? So they're married right at the hip with each other. And Brian Cashman, he's not going to get fired from his position unless something crazy happened over the next 4 years. He's most likely going to retire. So Yankee fans, embrace that. And there was a mistake that I mentioned earlier, and I want to correct Steve for correcting me. Talking about Yankees pitchers, the Louisiana Lightning is another pitcher Yankees developed. But beside the Ron Guidry and Whitey Ford, those are the only two aces that they developed. And it's a shame that Ron Guidry is not in the Hall of Fame. Hopefully, in 2023, when he's up by the committee, the Hall of Fame committee, he gets elected into the Hall of Fame. He had one season, 25 wins, 3 losses, a 1.74 ERA, led all of baseball. Phenomenal season. So he definitely
one of the greatest seasons in all of baseball history was that season.
Yeah, Ron Guidry and Don Mattingly, both of their careers weren't that long, but in a small stretch of time, they were the both at their position. For 2 or 3 seasons, Ron Guidry was the best pitcher in baseball, and Don Mattingly for a stretch of 3 to 5 years was the best hitter in Major League Baseball and the American League.
I highlighted 19 comments. Reynolds, Swanson, Rendon. Speaking about Swanson. I like kind of Swanson, but I'm having a little bit of a reservoir. Is he a New York type of player? Will New York be a little bit too big? Remember, he was highly touted for Arizona. He got traded to Atlanta in that deal. He won a World Series with the Atlanta Braves, played well, but he never, to me, he's just another level higher of an IKF. I mean, he's solid. He's good defensively. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, Gold Glove,
phenomenal, but in New York, it kind of worries me just a little bit when it comes to Swanson. I like Swanson. If I want, I mean, personally, I would either get Bogarts or Swanson, in my opinion, if I'm going to pick for a shortstop. And he's a champion, of course. But
Mhm.
what's your thoughts on Swanson since we bring
On me,
anyone, take anyone that
when it
wants to try.
comes to this shortstop pool, knowing that we have Volpe and Peraza, down in the minor leagues with Arias on the way and other shortstop prospects, the only one that I would sign is Carlos Correa, because he's the only one to me that's willing to move to third base and seems like he has the body build to be a third baseman for years to come. Right? When you look at Dansby Swanson, he's a very skinny guy. I'm not sure how durable he's going to be over the next, 6 or 5 seasons. Right? Same thing for Xander Bogaerts, a tiny shortstop. Not sure how flexible he's going to be over the next 5 seasons. Carlos Correa, even though he has had injuries in the past, he does have the body frame and the build to be a third baseman for years to come. So if I was to pick, I'm not sure if the Yankees would, it would be Carlos Correa.
Okay. Chris?
Yeah, it was only 2 people that confirmed that they would move off their spot. It was Trea Turner. Trey said he would move to second if he needs to be. And then Carlos Correa said, for the right team, I'll go to third. The other 2, I haven't heard anything. So, I kind of agree with that, with the shortstops and moving him to third if it needs to be. I just don't think they're going to pull that trigger.
Okay. Mikey?
I agree. I think Correa would be the one to go after, even though Bogarts is very enticing, just because he is a former Red Sox. He knows that rivalry. But I think Correa is the one I would go with, just because he said he would switch positions, and that gives us a little bit more of a breathing room at third. Yes, Donaldson can field, but he can't hit.
Okay.
And that would be the end of Donaldson.
I have a follow-up question. We're going to send it around the panel. Mikey, how many years would you give Correa if we were to get Correa?
I would do 6 max.
Chris?
I would do 6 and give him a 7 for option.
Hector?
6, the most.
6 years. Now, let me say Bogarts. How many years would you give Bogarts if you had to pick Bogarts? I'll go right back to you, Hector.
Bogarts, I want to stay away from Bogarts, but I would say 6 years also. Like I don't want to go past 6 years on. And the only person I'm going past that with is Aaron Judge. That's the only person.
Man, Ron in the building. Salute. Ron still in the loop. It's good to see you. All right.
What's up?
Chris, how many with Bogarts?
I agree with Hector. The same contract, 6. I don't want to go any because they all of them are based at like 29, huh? 29, 30.
Right.
Yeah.
If we could get Bogarts at a 5-year deal or 4 or 5-year high IUV, I would definitely go for 4. If he were to take a 4, because I don't think any team is going to go on a big 6-year, 7-year deal. I don't think that's out there for Bogarts. I think Bogarts 4-year, 5-year deal. That's why I think the Yankees could swoop in 5 years at $110 million for him. I don't know. I just got a feeling that that's something there. But we're talking about $100+ million contract like it's $10 in our pockets. But that's a lot of money.
I would agree with Hector though. I agree with Chris as well. I do 6, and then you give him a team option. So if he doesn't produce within his first 3 years, you can cut him loose.
Right, and then now let's go to what 19 Comment wants to say. Volpe and Swanson. How many years, if you were to sign, Swanson wants to be here. He says, I love it. Same thing with, how many years you're giving Swanson, and what do you think? I don't think he's going to get another 5-6 year deal either. I think same thing with Bogarts. I think it's a 4-year deal, 3-year deal with some options there. 3-year, $85 million, $95 million for Swanson, maybe less, maybe a value. What's your thoughts there, Chris?
You said for Swanson? I probably do like you said with Bogarts, with the not give him a long contract, but do like the 4 or 5 and just give him a high AAV, because his defense is good, and like you said, he won a chip, so We just don't know if he can handle New York.
Right, like 17. It's like around a 17 to $21 million player a year.
Yeah.
Heck, we're paying 25 for Donaldson, and look what he given us.
Yeah.
So
I'd
it
say-
wouldn't hurt there.
I'd say 5. I wouldn't go higher than 5 for him, just because you don't know how he's going to handle New York. You don't know how he's going to handle the pressure. Yes, he won a championship in Atlanta, but that's a different beast than it is in New York.
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
the only thing that I would credit Swanson is he was next to Freddie Freeman, he was the second leader on that team, right? When it comes to being a vote and setting the example. Acuna, very young guy, whatever. Everybody looked towards Freddie Freeman and Dansby Swanson, especially this past season that just passed with the Braves, as Dansby Swanson being the leader of that team.
And you can't put a price tag on leadership like that. World Series winning leadership, knowing where to maintain yourself, cool collective, win a losing streak or in a playoff. If you're back behind, we've been there, we got it. We just kind of can trust our process. That takes a lot of that. That's what made the call 4 or the Fab 5 phenomenal for the New York Yankees. They were battle tested. They lost that Seattle series. Don't worry, back against the wall. Now we're going to do something different. That's why they were so successful. They knew, and I think when it comes to that type of leadership, you can't put a price tag. That's why a lot of players, a lot of free agencies, they want to build teams. They go after players who won championship before because of that quality and that calmness and being in that position. And I think that, like you said, Hector, has a real good price tag that you can't put a price on it.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to put this out there, but Carlos Rodon has just met with the Texas Rangers.
Don't be surprised if they offer him a lot overpay.
Yep, I
They got all
wouldn't be
money.
surprised at all
Don't
because
be
they are
surprised.
looking to dethrone the Astros. Let's be real about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any other
Yep.
thoughts before we wrap up? Because I got to get ready to go to NXT soon. So go ahead.
I was going to say, I got a couple predictions. I got Reynolds going to the Yankees. I think the Yankees will end up pulling off the trade for Reynolds. They've been linked to him on multiple occasions. I think they get Reynolds. And I think they will swoop in and take Rodon. But their main competitor is going to be Texas. And then Judge, we'll see.
Okay. Hector?
Yeah. Hopefully we get some good news later on today when it comes to Aaron Judge. How, if you can hear us, please sign Judge. Please sign Judge. And Steve brought up another picture, Mel Stoudemire, right? Mel Stoudemire, he had a fantastic year, right? He never led Major League Baseball and wins per season, but he did lead Major League Baseball in losses per season. He had one season where he lost 20 games, another season where he lost 18 games, and another season where he lost 16 games in a season. So as beautiful as he was a human being, as a number one, that's debatable.
I'll leave you another name the Yankees developed, but they didn't develop in the Yankee system. Judge Drayback.
Yeah, well, if we throw, if he's throwing out pictures that are, pre-Vietnam War and World War II, I'm gonna bring Ching-Ming Wong up. He was on the rise. He was on the rise. Won 18 games back to back before that freak accident of a foot injury that derailed his career. I wish they had the DH back then.
Facts.
And Chris, give me your thoughts here before we wrap up here.
All right. Besides us trying to get Judge back, please don't let Rodon go, bro. Like, you can't make this mistake again. Like, I don't care what Texas, like, he is made for New York. I like his attitude. He's a lefty. Like, you can't let him go to any other team. You have to sign him.
Yep. If you got to give him that 7th year, even just push that envelope just to get him here, do it. Because we need another starter.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a tough one. Texas is overpaying. They're gonna overpay, and besides that, state income tax will be tough for the Yankees too.
And this is another point too.
Can I just say something about that, right? Because this is a point that everybody brings up when it comes to like the taxes and stuff like that. I understand that, but at the same time, right? All of these major league players have their own foundations, their charitable foundations, where they get those taxes back at the end of the year with tax write-offs, right? So yeah, the four of us, if we were making that money, we would get taxed, right? Because we're the
Yeah.
average working Joe. But Aaron Judge, he has enough money to hire the right financial guys and the people in charge that he can skate around certain taxes and stuff like that. So yeah, as taxes are annoying to us working class individuals, to those like Aaron Judge, it's a tax write-off at the end of the year because of his foundation.
And I wanted to say this too, like the Rodon thing. The only reason why we want Rodon, if people want Garrett Cole to be Garrett Cole again, just imagine Garrett Cole with Houston. Who he had that pushed him?
Justin
Verlander. Carlos Rodon would do the same thing.
He needs that person to push him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Carlos Rodon would be the perfect fit because now you've got Cole, Rodon, and then you've got the guys behind him.
Yeah.
But even after Rodon, I still think you got to go out and get another starter.
And you guys be on the lookout for Devi Garcia in the bullpen. Shout out to my guy Pete Seminetti from NYY News. He broke it down. But they talk about Devi throwing 96, 97 miles per hour with his sinker as a reliever. So keep on the lookout for that.
I've been saying that since August.
And he's young.
I've been saying that since the beginning of the year, Chris. You know what I've been saying? Where's Ravi Garcia in witness protection? Where is Ravi Garcia? I've been calling his name. I've been saying him for the longest. Devi, I was on that Devi Garcia trade since last season, asking where the heck is this kid? We saw him in that playoff, that one inning. He was really good, and then poof, disappeared. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Devi Garcia becomes the Michael King of next season.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised that.
I would love that.
Surprised.
I would love that.
Yeah,
electric
and
stuff and probably a closer.
And like I said, like he's so young. Like people don't understand that he's not like he's 25, 26. Or he's like 23,
something like that.
Yeah, like
extremely young.
So why not? I mean, if he could be what Clay Holmes and Michael King is, then yeah, I would definitely put him in the bullpen.
Yes, and we shall see. Anything other news come up, we'll come on and we could come on in any one of our 4 streams. First and foremost, to the Yankee Morning Brew. You can check it out there. You're still Monday through Friday, right? 11 a.m.
Yes, Monday through Friday, but also this Friday, December 9th, we're launching our new show, Get Yanked, on NYY News TV, brought to you by Pete Seminetti. Shout out to Pete Seminetti and bringing us a part and making us a part of the NYY News TV family. I'm super excited for 2023. It's going to be a big year. But yes, Yankee Morning Brew is Tuesday and Thursday. Next Morning Brew is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Get Yanked at 4 p.m. on NYY News TV is this Friday starting. And I'm super excited. Yes, sir.
Everyone hit those notification bells. All avenues go that way. That's a must appointment, must see. TV as well. I know Mikey Mazda, the 4-Train Express. I know you put some videos up there. Please hit that like for the 4-Train Express, Mikey Mazda. We find him there. And Chris HY. Mikey.
Mikey. I was going to say Saturday I'm going to go live, and Hector, Kev, Jiggaman, Chris, y'all are all invited to jump on. It's an open door policy for all y'all. So if y'all ever want to jump on, let me know. I'll get you guys a link. You guys can jump on, and we'll just do what we did today. Do a roundtable talk, whatever, recap, whatever. But you guys are more than welcome to come on. So it'll be 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that I'll be doing it. So whenever you guys are available, please jump on. You are more than welcome.
Yes, sir.
And we all go there and check out those videos from Mikey Mazda. Chris, give me a quick rundown of your channel. We want to make sure, first and foremost, please go and subscribe to each one of these channels. If you're not subscribed to the BX Jedi Network, please do so as well. But all foremost, one channel. One hand, one channel. We are all Yankee love of the Yankee, one Yankee family. So we need to continue that strive and continue striving for excellence. So, Chris, tell me what you got.
All right, yeah, I'm a Yankee content creator. I'm gonna do other sports once I get situated. But I used to be on camera, but I look like a hot mess, and I was like, I'm not missing this because I got to show support to Kev. But
yes, sir.
I just started doing live streams. I got to get used to that because you're talking to the phone or the computer, so I got to get used to that. But any Yankee breaking news, I'm putting it on my channel, and then for like other baseball news, I do shorts. So that's what I'm doing on my channel.
All right. Don't forget, Chris, I want to tell you something right now. The Heel of the Ring podcast on the BS Sport Jedi Network wants to send you a wrestling luchador mask so you could put on and do your lives with a mask.
Hey.
that would be kind of funny, but yeah.
Yes, exactly. Ninth, of course. It's all the Yankee Morning Brew is at the Knights of the Degen channel. Of course, Nick's Morning Brew as well. Michael Caputo. Hopefully it's over. Yanks will continue. I haven't heard from him. I hope you're doing well.
He's a mark, bro. He's a mark.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Hopefully he comes on and we get a rant. We haven't seen the Michael Caputo show. We're waiting for that. He disappeared for but now the resurgence of Caputo makes me at least happy. It made my December at least. Even though he might be sometimes a pain in the butt sometimes, but I love Caputo when he comes out with his passion for the Yankees, man. But it's good to see him here. And of course, we appreciate Hector. Thank you again for popping in. We appreciate it from the afternoon. Thank you so much, Mike Miazda. Thank you for coming on. The 4 Chains. I appreciate you always, Chris the Flash. All the love. Thank you for joining us, being here. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the support and love. Guys, don't forget, I always get that thumbs up, share. I thank you guys. And the love is always there for you guys. Thank you again so much. You guys make this program phenomenal. Jigga Man, thank you for joining us in the chat. I would love for you to come on and give us your thoughts as well. You're more than welcome. You don't need an invitation. Come on in. The fridge is stocked. Grab a cold one and come on anytime you want on the channel. Jigga Man, you're more than welcome there. And of course, thank you again. You guys have a great afternoon here. I'm on my way to NXT in about another hour. I'm gonna go.
You have fun. You have fun at NXT, my guy. You're doing the Knicks watch along tomorrow?
Yes, indeed. The New York Knicks. We have a watch along tomorrow. New York Knicks take on.
Let me know. I may join you. Let me know.
No problem there. We got Chef Dan. If I'm not on, Chef Dan does the watch alongs. If I'm not there, we'll have the Atlanta Hawks. Those pesky Atlanta Hawks. The Knicks trying to make it 2 in a row at home at the Madison Square Garden. Thank God for the New York Rangers. Won yesterday against the St. Louis Blues. Got me a smile on my face. We're also doing a lot of Ranger watch-alongs. Not all the time, but when we do, because hockey with the names, and for me, I got to get the visiting names. I know every Ranger hockey player, but I really love doing the Rangers watch-along. To me, it's
kind of hard pronouncing that. Yo, sucker, Bakovich.
Oh my God! But it's a big thing. It's fun. I love the hockey, and of course, hopefully Chris the Flash starts talking about his Miami Heats. Throwing a little plug.
Speaking of that,
they
Kevin.
suck.
No, tell Hector stop trying to give us Randall. I don't want Randall on my team.
No, I'm sending Randall to Miami, bro. I'm sending Julius Randall to Miami.
I don't want that man on my team. I'm good.
And my last topic, though, I want to ask Chris this: how the hell you let Brady beat you yesterday,
dude? I think that game was rigged, bro. Mark Ingram had a first down. He ran out of bounds.
And this is sad. I got Mark Ingram on my fantasy team too. That's the sad part about it.
I finished Monday Night Raw. I checked the channel. It was 16-3. I said, 3 minutes. I said, Tampa's gonna lose. What a disgusting. They only scored this much points. Then I wake up when I go at 4 a.m. WFAN. Oh yeah, Tom Brady still has it. He came back and won. I'm like, what?
And another dumb move that the coach did. He threw a slant to a receiver that haven't been in all game, and a 3rd-and-1 play that could have iced the game if you would have just ran the ball. He didn't do that. He pulled a Pete Carroll.
Oh my God! But
Chris, you need to start releasing some more sports takes out, bro. When it comes to football.
When it comes to football, because you got good takes there, and of course, we did the Jets watch along. I don't know if we're going to do the Bills game, but we're definitely going to have the New York Giants taking on the Washington Commanders. We'll be here. We'll do the watch along. It's going to be Flex the Sunday Night Football, so we'll be having that here on the Chef Giants Report. So from me to everyone, thank you again. Have a great afternoon. Peace.
Thank you.
Hesitate. Show no mercy.
Don't know the power of the dark side. It is pointless to resist, my son.
Stretch out with your feelings.